Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of the 101 items sold on eBay, and this is for March 2016. Uh, Actually there's going to be more than 101. I think there's about 110. When I went through and I cut and pasted, or cut and whatever, snipped out the part of my listings, and put them together in this, I don't know, presentation type thing. There was actually more, so I'm like, you know something, why not? But the 101 items, that's the title of it, but you'll get a little bit more. And I've continued to do this. If you haven't seen one of these 101 videos I've done in the past, what I've decided to do is go from, showing haul videos and stuff like that to pretty much just what has sold for me and my wife over the past, month or so. And then what I do is I put them all together and I show everybody. And if I can remember what I paid for the items, I'll let you know. But I will let you know what they sold for. So I think it pretty much kills two birds with one stone. While haul videos are awesome, I really enjoy them. We enjoyed making them. You're really only getting half the picture. Because, I might go out and, say, hey guys, yeah, I bought this really cool, Coronet Junior. It's a Canonet Junior, camera. And, I expected to get $100 for it. So somebody watches the video and, they come across, this camera and they're like, ooh, that's $100. I can pick it up for $5. And then they get home and then, later after I research it and list it, I find out I'm only going to get about $30 for it. So, I think, showing, the items that actually sold and what they sold for is kind of one step further than just a haul video. You get kind of a big picture. And all the stuff that you see on these videos, it's all our stuff. It's all stuff that we bought and we resold. I'm not just going on eBay and finding stuff. So the items that we get, we're in the Panhandle of Florida. We're right on the ocean. And it's just, this is the area that we're picking up these kinds of things. You may not find some of this stuff in a different part of the country, but this is ours. And it's just things you can keep an eye out for. This particular video, it's not super impressive. It's like a ton of bread and butter. We really didn't put really any effort into eBay over the past month and a half, pretty much because, our grandbaby being born and Logan and Katie getting married. And my back was out for 3.5 weeks. So, but this is, a lot of the stuff you're going to see is stuff that had been sitting in my, eBay, and they had finally sold off. You'll see, like, towards the end, once I started getting back into it, you'll see some of the home runs. So, but, I think it's important to show the bread and butter. I've said this 1,000 times. It's the bread and butter that, keeps the bills paid and everything else. So, just because you see something, somebody selling for $20 doesn't mean that everything that gets $20, it's a bread and butter. We probably got it very, very cheap, and it's just all profit. So let's get started, and I have my pamphlet here to let you know exactly what we got for it, because as you guys know, sometimes it just does not show up accurately on these listings. But the first item, these Foxfire books, guys, they're like survivalists. It teaches you how to do everything when it comes to living on your own. The apocalypse, a lot of survivalists, a lot of the preppers, have this set of books. They've been reissued, and it teaches you everything from, cleaning your water to planting a garden to, I don't know, sewing. I mean, just everything about survivalists, surviving. And actually, I got $66 shipped for this. And if you guys haven't seen our videos, what we do is we We're quick flippers, and so you may see some of my prices that we take for stuff. You might be able to get more for it. But just, that's just how we do it. This next item is a Black Pearl playset. We got $61.99 for that. I actually put it together to make sure all the parts were there. It had the box. The box had some significant damage on it, as you can see right here. But you always put, you put it in there. The box has damage. It sold. They really liked it. That's a horrible picture. I think because it was just priced cheap, I just went ahead and just left it up there instead of taking another photo. But we actually got $18.25 shipped for that. It's just one of those handheld games. Okay. I got a couple of these for like 50 cents a piece. One had already sold a while back, and this one we got $20.15 for it. And so that actually went for full price. But it says best offer was accepted. I don't know. We got $20.15 for that. No, actually, we took $13.20, which makes it 2015. Okay, anyway. Yeah, you guys probably see these quite a bit, but they actually sell. If you can get them for 50 cents or $1 at garage sales, that's where you normally find these, or at garage sales. And if you could pick them up for $1, take a minute to list it, and it is what it is. This was a play set that got in a big bag, counted the pieces, and I actually put the pieces, I sealed them up by colors and stuff. It just really, really helped with the presentation. And it was like $2. And we sold this for $41.99 shipped. We got $41.99 for this. And it's just a Mega Bloks. This, I think we paid $15 for this. And it's in the box. As you see, I just had the box open. It's old. It's vintage. And we ended up getting $161.07 for it. It's a depth finding, and it actually plots it. So, and Raytheon is a high quality maker of parts like this. So it's just something to keep an eye out for. This is off of a Keurig that pretty much stopped working for us. So, Keurigs still do very well with parting items out. I actually got $27.48 for this. And, it's a quick flip. I don't know why people want to get the, do they drop them and break them? I have no clue. But, yeah, it did well for us. That's the Keurig. It's the water reservoir on the side of the coffee maker, if for those of you who don't know. This Mega Bloks set, it's a Halo, which, Mega Bloks isn't really as good as Legos, but the Halo is pretty desired. We ended up getting $31.39 for this, and it's just it was in a bag for $1.50, I believe. So Logan and them was playing something in there. They're making Vine videos or Snapchat videos or something. So pardon if you hear him in the background. This is kind of thinking out of the box a little bit, that I try to talk to you guys about as often as I can. Later on, you'll find an Olympus little handheld voice recorder type thing. I got it for a couple bucks, and it was in a Ziploc baggie, and this disc was in it. And then what I did is, when I went to go listing that, I noticed that this disc doesn't go to that. But whenever I did the research, I showed this disc actually showed that it actually sells for good money. and it sold pretty quick. I got $19.99 out of it. And, and later on you'll see where I got I sold the actual player itself. But yeah, craziness. Had no idea. These I had for a little while. Got them for a few dollars. It's just a lower end boot. Northwest Territory. Actually only got $22.50 out of those, but for a couple bucks, it's just another one of those you can't go wrong. And they sat for a while. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that you're seeing, it just sat in the store for a bit, and these are the things that were trickling in as, we took time off to deal with the family stuff. The good old Polaroids, they sell so fast for us every time we list them. Typically what I'll do is, I've got my cartridge of film, and I've said this before, I run it through and it spits it out, and I take a picture of it just like that, as you see right here. You'll see on another one I sold. But actually on this one I got $32.50 out of it. And that's a good price for me. That's about where I want to stay, between $28 and $35. Always a good. This is kind of crazy. This is just for the monitor itself. I actually sold the computer and the monitor together for, I think it was like $500, because it's an IBM PS1. It's like one of the really early ones. And the guy that, when he won it, he goes, "Hey, all I want's the computer. You can keep the monitor." I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, yeah, I just want the computer." So he got it. He was happy. And then I listed the computer, and I actually got $109 shipped out of it. That actually went FedEx, and it was under $20 to ship it. So, yeah, I kind of cashed in on the shipping too, didn't I? So, but yeah. And I don't know what's so special about these older monitors like that, if it's the blue and the green. I don't know, but it sold pretty quick. Let's see. Yeah, this is just something that we found, garage sale, I believe, for 50 cents, and we got $40 for it. So we find stuff like this down here in Florida, since we're right on the coast, stuff like this all the time. So always a good pickup. Yeah, this is a PX90 system. I think you can't sell these as new on eBay, or it'll get pulled really quick. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some people have even said that when it's set up like this, that it's used like new, it could get pulled also. But it wasn't listed very long at all before somebody got it, and I got the full price, $69.99 out of it. So that was a really good deal. Oh, and I think I paid $10 for that at a garage sale. Kim actually found that. She goes, "Chad, would you be interested in this?" I'm like, yeah. So, brother printer, I can't remember exactly what we paid for it. It wouldn't have been much at all, probably under $5. And that sold for $42.32 shipped. So that fit into a Regional A priority box. Yeah, those are good for, I think, Amazon labels. Not worth a squat for eBay. Had this a while. This is another one of those things that had sat, and it just, ended up selling off during this time. Ended up getting $45.05 out of it. It's from the 80s. And it's just a cool, it was never used. We got it at a garage sale for $5. And we actually got two of them. I think the other one, it was a different model, but it already sold. So stuff like this, guys, you might find at like a yard sale. Just don't pass it up, because it might have some value to it. And this is the last one I had of these. Got $42, or what did I get for that? $43.25 shipped on this. I got like several of these in just a big bag. All the parts were spread everywhere, and what I did is I got the paperwork and I bagged them up with that. I bought some spare batteries, put the batteries with them. It's got the tester and the instructions. So that's actually more complete than what you would get from if you bought it brand new. So it was a good deal. I had like 4 or 5 of them and they all sold. These parts to an accelerometer, they're like heads. Had a few of them, and I've only got a couple left. I've sold a few of them. I got $28.25 for them. For this one, it's just the head, and it's in a wooden box. Stuff like this has to be calibrated. They were using something like this whenever they were checking our pool for leaks. They had it down at the bottom, of the pool, and it helps them hear, I guess. I don't know. It's some type of sensor, I believe. Here's another part of that Keurig that we parted out. I ended up getting $13.49 shipped for that. And that's just the drip tray. It's better than just throwing it away. I mean, that coffee maker ended up making us money after, it quit working for us. And it's a highly desired item, so why not sell the parts off? This is a Sennheiser, I call them the old people TV listeners. You can just plug it in. It's a wireless headphone system. And I got $50 out of that. So, or $58.75, my bad. Okay, but yeah, those are cool. They're used. I cleaned it up and, put them in the box. This is one of those filters that hooks up to your sink and stuff like that. We got this at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. That's what it's called. It's called a Restore. And we got $30 for this. And I think it was $1 at the store. So these filters, no matter how they look, always check them out. And you could tell this one is sealed. You got to be careful a lot of times if you just find it like that. It could be, or if you find one at a yard sale, it could already be used. So just make sure when you get something like this that it's actually sealed up or it's in the box. You don't want to sell something to somebody that's like used and won't serve its purpose. Oh yeah, these were cool. I don't remember what we paid for them. We pay under $10 for stuff like this. Probably closer to $4.99 because we're down in Florida and ski boots or snowboard boots just don't bring a lot of money at garage sales or thrift stores. So we're able to pick this stuff up really, really cheap. We got $52.99 for these. So that was a good little thing, and they were in excellent condition. Okay, this is just a sealed puzzle we picked up for like 50 cents at a garage sale. And we got $18 shipped out of it. So, puzzles aren't always going to bring you a ton of money, but it's bread and butter stuff. You just can't go wrong if and it's sealed. So for 50 cents, we probably didn't research it whenever we bought it. It's just one of those things. It's like, I'm not even gonna waste my time. You get home, it's like $20. Yeah, it's worth it. So we listed it, and I ended up taking 18 for it. Just some good looking shoes. They're women's, and they've got the good colors that women like and stuff, but they just aren't very expensive. We got $22 for those, and I believe those were a garage sale find as well. And here's another one of those things that we got for the Habitat store for $1, and it wasn't worth much more than that. We never looked it up, but we ended up getting $10.50 shipped for it. So not everything's a super home run or it's just typical bread and butter. Trust me, if I would have looked this up in the store, even though it was $1 and I saw that they were only selling for 10, I just wouldn't buy it. But when you're buying something like that at a garage sale or a thrift store and it's $1, you can just go by your gut. And if you're wrong, you're out $1. I actually made money on this, but it's just one of those things I probably wouldn't put money into if I actually have taken the time to look it up. And that's something you need to remember and consider. Okay, this is a Wii Fit board without the game. Okay, and you need to make sure that if you buy something like this, it's supposed to come with the game. If it doesn't, you need to make sure they know it. Wii Fit game not included. We ended up getting $36.50. And let's see, next. This was a big upset. When I saw this, I actually thought it was going to be worth more. And I actually paid $10 for this at a yard sale. And I only got $26.50 out of it. I actually thought that with it being a weighted, like a gamer mouse, that it would have brought more than what it did. It was just one of those disappointments. And I didn't look it up. It's like, yeah, they had 15 on it. And I asked them if they would take 10. And they said, yeah, shame on me. But, I mean, it's still, it was still a profit. But it's just one of those things. So, I got a bunch of these things. Got $15 out of it. And I've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 more of them. But yeah, they're just handle grips for like your assault rifles and stuff. This was $1. It's one of those insect rodent pest repeller. They're ultrasonic type. They put out the loud noise and stuff. And you can use these to, like if you have a barn and you have a bunch of birds nesting in the barn, you can put one of these out there and it'll get rid of them. And they just don't like the sound. So a lot of farmers use stuff like this, where large flocks of birds like to nest in your property. We got $21.50 for that. Another, I think, a 50-cent garage sale. Mitts are always a great pickup, guys. The Mizunos and the older, I like the older Franklins. This is a Franklin. They're just really cool. And it's a left-handed thrower glove. So, let's see. I don't even think I put left-handed in the title. My bad. We got $33 for that. I got 2 those Aircast boots, and one of them had 2 of these in them. So each one of the boots still has one of these, and that was just an extra. And I got $12.50 for it. It's just one of those things that you don't think has any value whatsoever, but it was literally free, and it's just cash in the pocket. See, guys, I wasn't joking when I told you that kind of the beginning of this, we weren't really doing anything. It was just bread and butter stuff. So, it is what it is. These are always good to find. Not all of the wireless handsets are expansion sets are worth anything. But this particular, the submersibles, the waterproof ones, they always do really well. We got $62.50 out of this one. I spent $2.50 and ordered a new battery for it. You've heard me talk about before, if you're going to mess with phones like this, then you might as well just buy batteries for them, because that's the biggest return issue. Is they say that the batteries aren't any good in it. Even though you tell them in your listing, batteries are can go at any time, and everybody should understand that if you buy something and the battery goes dead, it's on you to buy a new battery for it, unless it's stated comes with new battery, which this one did. The old paint by numbers. If you come across these, typically at garage sales or we find these a lot of times at like churchyard sales, stuff like that. Um, I like the old paint by numbers, and they do typically do well. This one didn't do as well. We got $24.98 for this, shipped, and they've always sold. We've always sold the paint by numbers. It's not like we had to end up donating any of them back. So, and it is kind of, if they're open, go in and check, make sure the paint's not hardened up on them. And you can tell just by holding them and moving them, and you can just see if it has any, if it's liquefied or rock hard. My good old Doc Martens. I find a ton of Doc Martens down here, and these are actually like a grunge. You know, the rugged. They've got the wear look to them, and they sold fairly quick for $50. So, always enjoy finding, and I typically can find boots like this. We like to buy whenever we go to, most of them are at Salvation Army, and I believe Wednesdays it's half off on shoes. So if they have a pair of shoes for $8.99, which is probably what these boots were on the half off day, then you're talking $4.50. So always like my Doc Martens. This is just another one of those things that I picked up for probably $1 at a yard sale. I just love the older stuff. I love that box. I love the graphics of it. Just everything about it. It's vintage, and I ended up getting $43 for that. It is important to test this stuff like this because they have like rubber bands on the inside that wear out and break and get brittle, and it won't work with the squat. So it's important to test this type of stuff. Like a 50-cent pickup at a yard sale. And I don't know. Let me see here. There it is. Yeah, I got $22.50 out of that. It's a digital one. So, it was a good pickup. It helps tune your guitars and stuff. Okay. Cheap pickup. You see, I say that it's in excellent condition. Do you see the yellowing around there like that? You might say, well, that's not excellent. Well, what these are actual reproductions of a super expensive clock. And West Clock, came out with a reproduction, and in the reproduction they actually made that yellowed like that. So yeah, it's a reproduction, but I did get $30 out of it. So yeah, it was a good pickup. Very small price, probably $1, maybe $2. Okay, bought a couple saxophones off of Dusty, the Alabama picker. He didn't really want to mess with them, and I'm like, I'm all about messing with stuff that I don't know about. So, got this one, and it sold. Okay, got $145.87 out of this. It blows. That's about all I know. It's about all I know. Yeah, right here it says we're not musicians. So we're not fully certain how it works. And actually on this I said I do not accept returns. It's priced at the price it's at because we can't guarantee if it's going to be perfect or not. And they honored that, and it worked out. So yeah. I got on this router thing $24.49. I don't remember where I got it, and I don't remember what I paid for it. I put seller refurbished because it was brand new, but the box was open. But I still did not know if it was used or not. But I cleaned it up and plugged it in, and it showed up. So that's all I did. So it's seller refurbished. I'm really disappointed in this. It didn't cost me hardly any money at all, but it's a really, really rare item. And it just did not bring the amount of money I thought it would. I got $33.99 out of it. Um, it's just a strange type of cassette, and you just can't find this stuff. So it's an Index-O-Matic, and pretty cool item though. It's a vintage electronic. And got a huge lot of like G.I. Joe stuff from the early 80s. Sold off all the good stuff, and this is what was left. Pretty much just parts. And I sold that lot of parts, broken pieces, parts, etc. Got $48 shipped out of it. These vintage toys like the G.I. Joes, the He-Man, stuff like that from the early 80s do very well. And don't think just because, I mean, if you can place it as the early ones, then it's okay to pick it up if it's all broken, because so many people have broken parts, like the gun on this piece, or just a blade on one of these might break in their collection, and they just want these, repair. So, yeah, bunch of junk. I got $48. This is a DVD. I don't remember where I got this. I got it in a lot of something, and it ended up, and I checked it out. I didn't know who it is, what it is, but I do know the Acorn. If you can see right there, the Acorn, they sell really well, and I ended up getting $16 for this. So that was a good deal. Just a DVD. This is the old Fiestaware sauce boat. I got $34.99 for this, and it was in excellent condition. It's just one of those things, I mean, you immediately recognize this as the Fiestaware. So it depends on what it is, whether or not Fiestaware is got any value. And I tell you what, you almost kind of have to be up to date, caught up with Fiestaware to not make a huge mistake, because you might call this the green. Well, this might be the aqua, or it's just make sure when you're researching you get the correct color. And there's a lot of way I can't highlight, but in the way the logo is, can help dictate the age and the time frame it was made. Garage sale, I think, for 25 cents. And this ended up selling for $15.99. It's just some labels. Pretty simple stuff. I told you guys, this is bread and butter stuff. But we will be getting into some really good stuff as, we started getting back into this. This is a really cool Casio Databank 300 watch. I ended up taking $70 for this. Pretty cool old calculator watch, considered like a computer. So, yeah, I always love finding the old watches like this. That's very cool, and everything worked about it. So, I love this stuff. I'll stay on this one for a couple more seconds, just because I like looking at it. Okay. Oh, I tell you what, these shoes, guys, every time we've picked them up, we've always done well. They don't have the shoelaces. It's like a cinch tight. And always do well with these. We took $40.63 shipped for these. Couple dollars. I don't know if it was a yard sale. I think it was a yard sale. Yeah, I think it was a yard sale. And what you see here when I put economy shipping, what I found is I put that down there with this new estimated time that your buyer gets the item. On some items I'll use economy shipping, and then I end up shipping it priority, so it always gets there, because those went into a probably one of the Tyvek priority mail bags, and it's going to get there much faster than what economy would. So, and that's why I put economy on some of them, is because I don't want to get hung up or caught with that if it doesn't get scanned in for a day or two, or just for whatever reason the USPS is dragging their feet on something. So that gives me a little bit more time to make sure. I mean, I always get the stuff out the next day, but it's, I don't know, it's out of security until I know that everybody's got their ducks lined up to where, we can go back to our standard shipping. This is just an old replica box. They made, this company, actually, the EMF actually made a replica gun from a 44 caliber, an 1860 Colt. And the graphics on it is just awesome. When I saw it, it's like, that is really, really cool. And I had that sitting on my shelf for a while, but I decided to sell it, and I got $20.91 out of an empty box. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's important also to note, guys, that just because it's an empty box, and that's kind of what I say, it's like, I see that box and I think that's really cool. It's got a really nice presentation. I love the graphics on it. And you have to think, maybe other people will like that too. Think that that's really cool. And so far it's worked out for me, because I don't know, it just has what I find cool, I guess. This is just a BKE leather jacket, really good shape. It's supposed to be distressed like that. That's the way it was made. But got $54.87 out of it. People walk past these things all the time, and I'm like, man, I pick them up. I've got another one in the other room we're using. It's actually running. Actually, it's a Honeywell, and it's a higher end model, and we're actually using it right now. And these things always sell really well for us. Always. The air purifiers, we take them apart, totally take them apart. We totally clean them, and they are literally refurbished. I do to these like I do with the vacuum cleaners. So they're in excellent condition when the buyer gets them. I print out the manuals and everything else. So here's some more of those little heads that sold. I ended up getting, on that air purifier, I ended up getting $92.49 shipping for it. And on these, I got $31.25. Yeah, they're just some more accelerometer heads. This is that Melissa and Doug plush giraffe, and it sold fairly quick. I got $64.99 out of him, shipped. So, and he fit into a large moving box. His neck moves, and yeah, it was a pretty quick sale. These are really cool, and it's kind of funny little story that goes with these. These Doc Martens are really, really cool, and I got $65 out of them. The guy got them, and he sent me a message saying, they don't fit. Is there any chance maybe you have a 9, size 9? And I'm like, I don't have a size 9, but you're more than welcome to return those. Not a problem at all. He's like, okay, I really appreciate it. Never heard anything about it. Never heard back. They didn't return them. They kept them. And so many times that happens. Unbelievable. So you'd be surprised if somebody messaged you, even though it shows you take returns anyway. Yeah, we take returns. How can I be of assistance? And then you don't hear anything back. So, but if you're a butt to them, guess what? That's when you're going to get nailed. Even if they didn't have the intention of returning them in the first place. Same here, economy shipping, and I ended up shipping them priority. Yeah, this is just a very cheap thing I got at the garage sale, and if you can see there, the pixels have a little bit of issue, and I put there one screen has some dead pixels. Yeah, it's sold. I got 44.25 and printed the manual out for it. So yeah, just good presentation, and somebody probably strapped them to the back of the seats in their car for their kids. This was a really cool find. I think we got this for $3 or $4 at a yard sale, and I ended up getting $72.50 for it. It's a 12-inch, like a doll, just stands there, statue, and it talks. So, but Hellraiser has a Pinhead. They have a huge cult following, and a highly desired piece this is. This is the Audio-Technica cartridge. On that turntable, you may have heard me talk about it. It was a Pioneer turntable that wasn't worth squat, but it had this cartridge in it. And that's what I've always said, when you're out and you look at the turntables, even though they could be cheap, make sure you look at where the needle's at, because it may have a high-end cartridge in it. And sure enough, I got, what did I get on this? $83.69 shipped. So that was a really good pickup. Oh yeah, a vintage ski suit. I had a men's and a women's, and they were matching. Sold the men's a couple months ago, and then this one finally sold, and I ended up getting $80 shipped for this. So that was a really good, and I think that went overseas, so through the global shipping. But yeah, vintage snowsuits always do well. And here's another one of the saxophones I got from Dusty. And this actually I listed because it had the thing that holds these two holes down was broke off right there. So I had a piece missing off the larger keys by horn. And so I sold it for parts and not working it. I ended up getting $160.97 out of it. $160.97. So that was a good deal. And as you see here, this thing is roasted, toasted. It's got somebody's initials on there, and it just wasn't in very good shape, but it was in a lot of, I got some other Nintendo DS stuff, and it was very, very cheap. I got $10.99 out of it, but it was worth listing. Took a couple minutes to list. Yeah, it came with this, but it doesn't go to this. So it was just in there. Yeah, this is Nintendo DS Lite, and I ended up getting $40.59 out of it. And just today, this isn't the thing, but I'll show you anyway. We just got this Nintendo DS Lite pink with a starter kit that's got the pink case and the pink styluses and all that stuff. So we have to get that listed. Kim actually got this today. Yeah. But yeah, they're not worth a whole lot, but kids love them, so it'll be a quick sell. Always a lot of people don't talk about the Panasonics, but a lot of people talk about the Sony Discmans and stuff. I jump on the Panasonics quite a bit. They've always done really well, and this one actually, what did I get for this one? $25.50. So it's worth picking up for $1 or 50 cents at a yard sale, and it was in excellent condition. So don't just bypass it because it doesn't say Sony. There's some other profitable brands out there as well. Okay, I got this in a huge lot of VCR/DVD players and stuff like that from another reseller, and go through and testing them, and for what I paid for them, I can sell some of if they don't work exactly the way I want, I'll sell them for parts. What people don't understand is some of this stuff sells great. That's not functional, fully functional. As long as you disclose it, people don't have a problem with it. They know what they're doing. They can fix it. So I ended up getting $48 for this one. I think, yeah, it gets the loading error when plugged in. So, and it was in excellent condition, but it's got an error on it. So, was still worth the buy. This is pretty cool, man. It's a Insane Clown Posse necklace and a cigarette case. I ended up getting $30 for that, and it was at a garage sale for a quarter, I believe, quarter a piece. And or no, I think I got these thrown in with that pinhead doll from that lady. So yeah, that's where it came from. The pinhead doll, and I got $30. Okay, this Guitar Hero dongle, got $33.99 out of that. Always sell really, really quick. Here's another Polaroid, and this is what I'm talking about, how I present it. As you can see, the film is toast, but it worked great. You see this little trick right here? You know how when you buy these, it's I make those with my sealer. I don't say that it's new, but that sure has a good presentation, you know, where the cord is wrapped up like that in plastic. So, that's a little hint. Oh, on this, I actually got $33.99. Got a huge lot of these old toys like this, and I wanted to show this. Although it's not, you know, it's $7.25 plus $2. I had like 60 or 70 of these things, and I pretty much sold out. I've only got like 10 or 15, maybe 15 left, but they've sold really well. I made a lot of money on them, and it was just a really good purchase. And as you see, it's not in the best of shape. So, but this is from the 60s, and it is played with, but you know, they're still desired. Here's some of those HeroScape Fortress. I got them in a big bag. I had no idea what it went to. The way I found out what these were, like if you ever come across something like in a bag and you're like, what does this go to? I found something which was the dice, and I typed in Google dice with a skull on it, and sure enough, under images, I saw the dice with the skull on it, and it had the shield on the other side of the dice, and that's how I found out what this went to. So it's stuff like that. If you can't identify it, you know, you can look it up that way. I got this lot for $10 at a yard sale, and ended up, I put it on auction because I didn't want to, you know, piece it out. It's like, look, I'm just going to throw it up there and I'll let the market dictate what I'll get out of it. So I put $49.99 on it with $19 to $20 shipping. So that's $70 for this, and I paid $10. And it got one bid. I was hoping for more, but you know, I was fine with the $50, you know, plus the $20, and it maybe cost $10 through FedEx. But yeah, it was a good deal. Got this at a yard sale, and I don't remember what I paid for it, but it sold for $93. It's like a military stove. I used one. It will take any type of fuel, gasoline, anything, and that was the best thing I had when I was in Iraq, and I loved it. We could heat up our water and warm up our MREs and everything in them, and that had never been used. It still had the wrapping around it and everything, so awesome find. This is just a cheap garage sale find. It's old school. It's literally like a pager. I don't know why anybody would want it. But it sold for $47.75. And it's, instead of, I don't know, it's a silent alarm, and you got a little pager that I think is done by vibration. If your car is vibrated in any way while it's set, it'll send a thing to your pager saying your car is being vibrated. But yeah, it was pretty neat. I just really liked the graphics of it when I saw it, and it's like, this is a cool piece. And it was vintage, and that's just what I like. But yeah, here's another item. I got in that lot. It's a Sony. It's just a DVD VCR player. It's not a DVD recorder. But, you know, all the parts were there. I tested it. It worked great, and it sold pretty quick. So I got $47.75 out of, no, I got $80 out of that. Yeah, $80 shipped. Yeah, that's right. $80 shipped. These Sorel, I had no idea what these were. And I asked Ronnie, and he's like, yeah, those should sell pretty good. So I ended up getting $68 for these. I think Kim found them. I guess they're a decent brand. I don't know anything about them, but, and they're hard to find, I guess. So, yeah, it was a good deal. I'm going to take a break. Okay, and next, I got these, in a lot of some, little die-cast toys. It was fairly cheap, and I can't remember what we paid for. I think $3.50. Sold these two for $47, and they actually had issues. Some of them were missing the rear tires, rubber on one tractor, and but yeah, really good price. The Winross, the older stuff, is worth some decent money. So when you're looking at like the little diecast, like the trucks and stuff like that, take a second and look, and if it's Winross, then it might be worth picking up. This was at a yard sale for, I think, $1. It's not worth a lot. It's just one of the Carpenter wood planes. I got $26 for this. And I believe it went, I think it went to Florida. And so I shipped it in a priority box. And it was only $7 or $8 to ship. So that was a good deal. Not a huge money maker, but, you know, like I said, when you're at a garage sale and the stuff is cheap, you just pick it up. It's like it's worth the risk. Here's that Olympus that I was telling you about. I sold that CD that went to the Olympus DSS. Well, this isn't a DSS, but this is the actual. It was all in a bag, and I ended up getting $19 for this. So it wasn't worth a lot, but for the $1 or $2 that I paid for it, plus the disc and this, so we made some good money. It's one of them little digital recorders. I had this for a while. It's a really rare piece. I had it priced up, and I've just kept bringing the price down over time. And you just can't find these. The antenna was broke off, but it still had some wear and everything. It was still a really good piece, and I ended up getting $64.26 for that. It's not one of the big, huge boom boxes, but this particular model, the RK500, is really a rare model, and that's why I was able to get that amount of money out of it, because something like this, you might be able to get $15, $20 for it, just a typical run-of-the-mill, you know, cassette player like this. Just another really cheap pickup, and it's the red digital. I'll normally pick them up if they're dirt cheap. I like the old school, the red numbers. That means they're early, and I ended up getting $18 for that. And trust me, it was like probably stupid cheap. Very, very cheap. I had this for a while. It's just a Hunter fan, and I ended up getting $99 shipped out of this. Um, I like the old fans with the brass blade. Um, this was a metal blade, but it's not brass. I think it was aluminum, and it was painted gold, I believe. But I've restored fans with the the brass blades. Those really bring some really good money. And what's important on these, it's an oscillating fan. You need to make sure that that does work. But yeah, that's an older Hunter oscillating fan. Okay. These are little metal Britain's LTD. These I thought would have brought more money than what they did, but they, for what I paid for them, I got them in a huge lot of stuff. I believe it was with the GI Joe stuff, I believe, and I ended up getting $20.15 out of them. They're very small. I mean, they're very small. They're just little pieces for like collectors or whoever. Had this for a while. It's like a you carry it like if there's it's a signal panel or like a blanket, thermal blanket you can use. I can't remember where I got it. I think I got it at a garage sale. Was a military garage sale, and it's just like a thermal blanket, and you can set it out to be seen from far away if you're lost or something like that. So, and I ended up selling that for $43.99. I got a bunch of these 4-tracks. This is not an 8-track, but a 4-track. And if you've come across 4-tracks, go ahead and pick them up. You can pick them up cheap because even the no names and stuff like that may end up selling for some decent money. As you can see, $24. And I got quite a few of these. I've sold some of them for over $100 that I got in a lot. So it was a really good pickup. And I still have some left. And they're selling here and there. This is a really cool $1 at our favorite little thrift shop. It was hanging on the rack. It just looks fleece. It kind of looked cheap. And but beyond is a really high-end military layering type system. Yeah, this is a level 3. It's a cold weather layering system, so you have the different types of clothing you wear, and depending on, and you're supposed to be able to maintain a certain temperature. But yeah, this is a high-end. A lot of military uses it. But I actually got $55 out of that, and really good stuff to pick up. It's called Beyond. So keep your eyes out for something like that. I've got a ton of stuff like this. The new like tops, military stuff. This is actual Air Force, and it's the tiger stripe type camo. So yeah, I sold that one. Got these 2 robots at a garage sale. I believe it was $20 for the set of them, and they actually work, and I had some fun with them. I ended up getting $82.50 for them. One of them is a special edition, a Mark Tilden edition. So I believe he's a designer of some robotics or something, I believe. Don't hold me to it. But yeah, they're pretty cool. They can do a lot of stuff. Here's the Sony Discman, like I was talking about. Garage sale find, probably 50 cents to $1. No big deal. And I got $18.99 out of that. So, always good pickups. These are like the Instamatic Kodak cameras. You know, they always do well. So if you're picking them up for 50 cents, $1, $2, it's well worth it. Make sure you always test them. I always have my Bee Gees CD sitting right here to toss them in, and my headphones to check it out. This is a pretty cool. Got this at our Salvation Army, and this is what's cool about living in Florida. Okay, once it starts not being so chilly outside, Salvation Army puts their jackets on sale, 75% off. This was $40 on sale, and then whatever 75% off was, and I got several jackets that day, and this was one of them. And let's see what I actually got out of this. That I got $100 shipped. So really good, and it didn't go to Florida. That's why I think it went to Ohio. But yeah, that is a leather jacket, and just a really nice piece. Picked up these golden books, the encyclopedias. I can't remember. I think I got them all for $5. They were in a box, and I got $59.45 out of them. No, not that. I got $36.50. The $59.45 were some slides. I didn't put them up here. There's a group of slides that I sold. I sold a ton of slides, but I only put a couple of them in today. And but yeah, I sold one lot of slides for $100. Yeah, $57, $59, and then $100 and something dollars. So yeah, the slides do very well. I'll show you some here soon. This was just a security control board that I picked up. Didn't really know anything about it, but the Moose brand, when it comes to security and the control panels, does really well. I ended up getting $57 shipped out of this. I did have the key, and it's got the board inside, so they were happy with it. Here's another one of the cartridge, the 4 tracks, and I ended up getting $17.99 for this one. It's sealed, so yeah, always good stuff. This was a garage sale pickup for $15. It's a Epson, just a scanner, a desktop scanner, and I ended up selling that for $500, like within 24 hours. So that sold really well. That was a killer profit, and it was brand new. Here's one of the slides I was telling you about. And when I talked about slides the other night, last night I believe on Picker's Church, slides are all about content. And by looking at this picture, and here's the actual slide, but I have a digital thing that I can actually turn it into a digital picture. I mean, if you look at this picture, you'll understand what I mean by content. This is from the 70s, and the clothing, the way the hair is worn, and just it was a festival, and she's got the makeup, the face paint. It's just a really, really cool picture, and people love this stuff. They love these, and I actually got $7.99 out of this, and I've got thousands of these. So, if I can sell thousands of them for $5 to $8, or well, some I've sold $24 for one slide, $15 for one slide. But it's really the title is really important, because you have to think about, okay, what are these people actually searching for when it comes to slides? Because you don't just go to eBay and look up 35 millimeter slide. This is where the content comes in. Like I put a young woman, blonde. A lot of people, it's just what they like, and hippie. Okay, because this, it's got this hippie vibe to it. And if my slide is marked with the date, which most of them typically are, and this one came out in 1978, so that's a really cool just example. And when you have thousands of them, you can sell them for, I got $7.99 shipped out of this on this one. So take a couple, $5. I mean, think about that. Thousands of them at $5 at least. And then you're just going to make a killing. And I sold, I don't know if you can see here, but all these slides, that's just one order from one person. And that was a $57 order. And I mean, it's just, there could be money in them if you have the right content for them. These are some Skechers. Yeah, I think these were totally disproven as far as the shape ups, with the curved. But they still do very, very well when we sell them. I guess people still like them. These are the work shape ups, and we got $50 out of these. And for a couple dollars at the thrift store or yard sale, you cannot go wrong. And these were brand new, never used. And I sold another pair of them. I think I have it in here. Picked this up. I can't remember what I paid for this. I think, I don't remember. Like $8.99, I believe, $7.99. It's a portable satellite dish. It was a Salvation Army. With Salvation Army, some things are priced way too high, but when they don't know what things are, they just put some stupid low number on it. But that actually sold for $139.99, shipped, and it was a really quick sell. Yeah, it's a portable satellite you can hook up when you're out and about to your DirecTV or something. I think that's what it goes to. Okay, here's another one of those I got out of the lot that I bought, and this is I printed the manual, which is a pretty big manual, but when you're dealing in something like this, like the DVD and the HDD, it's got the hard drive in it, print the manual, because they may not know how to use it, because these, especially DVD recorders, they can sometimes get pretty expansive in their, how they operate. So it's really important, if you can, print out the manual. I mean, that was a 50 page manual probably, but it was well worth it. Ended up getting I got full price on that. So $160 something, and I can't find it. I took $135 on it plus $25 shipping. That's right, $135. Let's see. This thing was $2 at a little thrift shop, and I wasn't sure about it, but I looked it up because it was a Cabbage Patch, and I was really, really surprised at how much these things sell for. This thing's only about this tall, about this big, and it sold for $41.98 shipped. I was really surprised. So I'm like, yeah, I'll pick that up. This is another Salvation Army thing. I believe I paid $25 for this whole set. And I ended up getting $259.99 out of it. What it is, it's the wireless headphone system. Like, I don't know, I guess somebody that works at, I don't know, NASCAR? I don't know. But it's got the things, and it's got the microphones, and you can talk to people. Maybe at airports, something like that. But they all worked, and they were really good. The ear pads were kind of crumbling, which I told them. And when they bought it, I sent them a message saying, I just want to make sure that you're aware that the ear pads are crumbling, and you're going to have to get new ear pads for them. And they're like, yep, absolutely fine. So, yeah, that was a really good pickup. I picked this up for $25, I believe, at our little thrift shop, and I never even heard of this when I saw it. I was really, really surprised, and when I saw it, I was like, man, is that like a Roomba, iRobot? And I looked it up, and it's like, holy cow, these things can be considered nicer than the Roombas, but it sold fairly quick, and it was in excellent condition. I cleaned it up, made sure the filters were cleaned the inside of it, and tested it. And so I put it as seller refurbished. Everything was included. It was complete. It's beautiful. And I ended up selling that for $189.99 shipped. So that was a good deal. This little cheap game picked up. That's the Game of Life. And where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I got $27.99 out of that. It was sealed. So that was a good deal. This is a Barbie thing. I'm pretty sure it was a return, but I verified that everything was in it. Even though it's still everything in there, the box was rough, so I put it as used. And I said, this is a return. Okay, yeah, box has shelfware. So I was upfront and honest with them. And it sold for, we got $47.99 out of it. So that was a really good deal. That's a Barbie. It was like 2 foot long. Picked this up for a couple dollars and I cleaned it up. I shined it up. I used my Neverdull on it. And it shined up really well. And I printed the manual out for it. And I ended up getting $44 shipped for that. So it's just a percolator. And the person that got it actually said they are on a budget. And it's for their wedding. So it's a good deal. Here's a satellite radio that's actually activated until, I believe, August 5th, 2016. Because I ended up, I had it and I got a new setup for my pool. And I ended up paying for the subscription on it. And it didn't expire till then. So I listed it, with that as activated. So, and they got it. And this is kind of crazy because they said they turned it on and it says no signal, and cause this is a XM satellite radio system, and I said, okay, now where are you trying to to turn it on at? And in their living room. I'm like, you have to put you take the battery thing off the bottom, and it's got a long wire, and you can run that wire to your window, or you can just lift up the antenna and take it outside with you. It's portable. And so they did that, and they apologized, and they were very happy with it. But yeah, sometimes, guys, just be polite, because they may just not know. And unfortunately, I didn't print out the instructions for how to set it up. And that's what printing something like that up can do for you. It can alleviate any issues because all they have to do is like a quick guide setup because they come with them. And I just don't know why I didn't. But yeah, that's all it is. LL Bean jacket. This is another jacket I got at Salvation Army that was 75% off and they had $20 on it. So, I mean, it cost me, what, $4 or $5? And what did I get out of that? I ended up getting $26 out of it. Not worth a lot, but now if they didn't have the sale, it wouldn't have been worth picking up for $20. These are so cool, these Doc Martens. I really, really like these. The blue python. Really, really rare. There were no other ones like it, and I got $71.99 out of them. They've just got that cool look. And that Doc Marten look, you can spot that stuff a mile away. With the yellow trim with the sole. Great pickup. I love finding those. Pick this up. I don't remember. I've had this forever. And I got a new one. So I just listed this one. I had never used it. It was new in the box. And I ended up getting $51.99 out of it. I can't remember where we picked this up, but it's just a solid wood decoy, unfinished, unknown artist, and I got $35 out of it. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with it. Maybe they're going to finish it. Who knows? Here's a nice little Camelback hydration kit unit. You wear it like a backpack. And I ended up getting $33.70, and it was $3. at a yard sale. Here's another one of the Fleece. It's a Polartec PCU level 3. It's not the Beyond brand, but it's the same aspect. It's a level 3, and the military uses it, and it ended up bringing $36, and it was just $1 or $2. These are those awesome Doc Martens, the silver ones. They are used. The toes were kind of scuffed up on them, but I sold them fairly quick for, I believe, $150. Yeah, $150, and just love them. They're just cool, and those are really rare colors, really, really hard to find. So those are pretty cool. Can you tell we started getting back into going out and sourcing some good stuff, as you're seeing here? Yeah, because it was done by times. So, yeah, as you can see, we picked up some decent stuff, and, we list it, and it sells pretty quick after we list them. Home run and a half. This thing was new. $2, I believe. Let's see what it... Oh, Salvation Army. It was $2. And I only picked it up because it was sealed. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't even really, Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, but I had no idea. And it was actually out of all the boots and stuff that I got, I had all this stuff. It was the last thing that I even picked up to list because, it was just, I don't know. I thought it was just a game. But when I researched it, I was like, holy cow. But I took $150 on that pretty quick. I had probably 20 $100 offers on them. And I'm like, nah, I think I'm going to hold out on the $150. And sure enough, $150 is sold. So that was a huge score for just $2. This is kind of funny because it's just funky. You could tell it's 60s, early 70s. Some type of French designer. We could not figure out the name of the designer. Couldn't read it. It was plain, but it was just really, really hard to read, and nobody could read it. I asked in the Facebook groups a couple months ago, and it finally sold. I got $67.90 out of it. But yeah, I think it's just cool looking. Here's one of those slides, like I was telling you, $5.50 it sold for with $2 shipping. Like I said, real important. Young lady, college, teenager, blonde, 1966. So I don't know why they buy these, but I'm telling you, there's some good money in slides. Sold to Sunbox Sunlight Junior. It's like one of those therapy lights. And I ended up getting $87.20 out of that. I printed the instructions out for it. Really surprising. It just kind of looks like a fluorescent light. So if you come across something like that, you need to... Don't just walk past it. You might just... Oh, it's just a fluorescent light. No, these Sunboxes, therapy lamps, are worth some really good money. So... Here's another slide. $16.70. Brunette young lady in bikini pinup. Okay, because that's like, the old-fashioned pinup calendars and stuff like that. That's exactly what it is. And it's just what I say. It's all about content. So, and that's, as you can see right there, it's November 1966, or November 66. So, yeah, that's 1960s, and people buy this stuff up. So, yeah, and I got thousands like this. It's like, man, I've got those belly dancers and just all kinds of craziness. So, here's those other shape-ups that we got. We got, let's see, $44.99 for them. We pick these up quite often. These look like they were worn for just a few hours, maybe just to try them on. I mean, it was nowhere whatsoever. So always a good pickup for a couple bucks, even up to $6 or $7, and you're still making good money. We were at a garage sale, and Kim asked the lady, "How much you want for these headphones?" She goes, $1. So got them home, tested them. The battery holds a good charge, and they're wireless. And we ended up getting $68 for them, and printed the manual out for it. Really good set. I would consider keeping those, but I don't like the big bushy thing on your head. But yeah. And that's where we are, guys. I think there was actually 110, something like that. But, I mean, as you can see that, like at the beginning, it was a lot of this stuff after we hadn't really done anything. Those are the sales that were coming in as we were not out sourcing or listing and stuff like that. So we actually maintained, I think, at like a $3,500 dollar a month, when we weren't doing anything. And so it just goes to show, and we say it all the time, we understand and we get what we put into it as far as this business. We're not going to complain that sales are slow if we're not listing. And when we are listing, we're selling. I think it's a very simple concept. I think the concept is really, really simple if you're a quick flip type person. That you get really quick results from your listing, your work. Because, the prices are better than most people, and you can get that quick cash that you invested. So, that's it. Looking forward to listing some great things that we've gotten, and hopefully we can get another one of these 101 items sold on eBay out next time. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I've stuck with this platform and this method, the 101, because a lot of people say they really like it. In the comments on the videos, and the videos themselves do very well. Really surprised that people like these longer things, but if it's just, what these items sold for. So keep your eyes out, and always think, and I tell everybody this all the time, with our business plan, if you're that long tail, you can probably add a little bit of money to it and expect to get more than what you saw I got on my videos. So looking forward to seeing you all soon, and keep picking and making the money, guys. Have a good one.